We are a spiritual community that comes together every Sunday morning. We are known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And we honor you and welcome you on your journey of your awakening to your personal self-empowerment through that spiritual awakening. That is our vision statement for our community. If you're here for the first time, is there anyone here for the first time? Well, welcome. We're happy that you're here. You were in our meditation this morning. Glad to have you here. So if you're here for the first time, you hear some potential language that's untraditional in religious terms. And so we celebrate that on our journey here. Some terms that you may hear will be oneness, spiritual mind treatment, and who knows what else might roll out of my mouth that's untraditional. But things will happen. But we always want you to know that we are here as a metaphysical-based teaching. And what that means is that we honor the oneness of all life that exists equally among all people. And we welcome all races, all religions, all sexual orientations, all genders, all ethnicities, all abilities. We stand with you. And we primarily practice and believe in here the philosophy and the faith and the way of life that is known as the science of mind, which was a compilation, or is a compilation, of all the world's great traditions, as Deepak Chopra calls them, the world's wisdom traditions, put together in a presentation or a book known as The Science of Mind by Dr. Ernest Holmes almost 100 years ago in 1926. Take all of that, and what that all comes down to is we believe that there's one power. It exists equally among all aspects of life. We both process, express, and experience it through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, and our reactions. We believe that there are spiritual laws that govern the universe, just like physical laws exist in the world, and that we're all one. And so we welcome that diversity that expresses itself by means of all of you. And as our beloved founder, Dr. David Walker, used to say every Sunday morning, we welcome one and we welcome all. So we're going to open this service as we always do. Let's take a moment to say hello to those watching online. Hello. Hello, onliners. I know there are people watching online because I was with a group of them last night who said, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I said, I'll see you tomorrow morning. They said, oh, but we're going to be in bed. I'm like, oh, well, good for you. So, but I'm glad that they are on and they're online. So we begin our service every Sunday morning with a ritual. I know that for some of you, because you've brought this up before, that you want something different. You don't like hearing the same old thing every Sunday morning. That is kind of what a ritual is. But with that said, I invite you to not hear this ritual this morning as if you've heard it every Sunday morning leading up to it, but as if this is the first time that you've heard it. And hear the words and the qualities of the divine and the definitions of that new. Because the reality is you are hearing it anew, because you haven't experienced this moment in your consciousness, this moment in the collective consciousness before. It is indeed new. And we get to bring a new awareness to that should we decide to do that, and in so doing, affect our consciousness. So the ritual is always performed by the practitioner of the day. That practitioner is standing before you. It's moi. So I'm your practitioner. Happy to be here. And I'm even more excited to share with you who our illuminator of the day is, who is the young woman who does her absolute best to keep me in alignment as much as possible. I'm sure for those of you that know me, you'll know that's quite a task for someone to do that. But it's my office administrative assistant here part-time, and her name is Sarah Nurmi. So I'm welcoming Sarah to light our candles. And our musicians will take us on a journey as well. So at this moment, I invite you to center yourself. Remember to hear this anew and just be receptive.
Please join me. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
Thank you. The ritual we perform this morning is called Calling in the Light. And we perform it today to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one all-abiding presence. It's what we call in this philosophy, this faith, this way of life, spirit. The purpose of this ritual that we're sharing this morning is to draw into our gathering a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we each possess as complete expressions of the divine. So the candle that Sarah lights first is for the quality of peace. The acronym for peace is Purposeful Energy Activates Conscious Evolution. Peace. And as we light this candle, we do so honoring our inherent divine state of inner calm, regardless of any seeming chaos unfolding around or within us, which moves us to the second candle and quality. And it's illuminated for the quality of power. Power is defined as the energy by which everything exists. I invite you to feel this power anew right now within you, which moves us to the third candle, for the quality of beauty. Beauty is defined as a personal expression by which high spiritual qualities are made manifest. And in this moment, I invite you to illuminate around yourself your own personal expression, high spiritual qualities that is existing as you, which moves us to the fourth candle that Sarah lights, which is for the quality of joy. The acronym for joy is just open yourself. Joy is known as that state of being that is excited by the expectancy and the experience of good, good being a synonym for God. And as we light the fifth candle, we do so for light. Light in this metaphysical teaching is known as the symbol of divine intelligence. And so as you're feeling and looking within and seeing your own inner light, see that light as the intelligence of the divine waiting to be expressed. Moving us to the sixth candle, which is lit for all life. Life is that energy force that is defined as the animating principle of being. It's that energy that makes everything live. Everything live. Which moves us to the seventh candle that Sarah lights, which is for love. Not human love that we're talking of, the love of the divine, that infinite love, which is defined as the self-givingness of spirit, and it's the desire of life to express itself by giving of itself, through itself, which is you. Which moves us to the final quality, the eighth quality. And Sarah illuminates this candle, and we do so for wisdom. Wisdom is defined as the concept of unity, and it's the mystical secret of the ages, and that is the key to wisdom. And as we move to the final candle, that which we call the healing candle, I ask you to take a moment and to not only just think of someone, but think of yourself. And put yourself into the light of the healing flame so that you may continue to experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine.
Please repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
I am peace.
I am peace.
In my heart.
In my heart.
I am free.
I am free.
I am spirit.
I am spirit.
I am soul.
I am soul.
All together.
All together.
We are whole.
We are whole. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light
of
love. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. Calling in the light of love.
And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so I invite you, if it feels comfortable, to close your eyes and go within. The purpose of going within is to take yourself on that inward journey that is appearingly separate from what's taking place outside. It's to see in our mind's eye the healing light of the divine. It's to feel that energy of the self-givenness of spirit whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself. It's to know at a deep level that we are indeed the beauty of the divine, fully expressed. And it's to feel that force of energy that is within us and all things that makes every single thing live. And so it's from this place of both this bundle of energy and what feels like its opposition of calmness that we meet and greet the divine within us. This place where our true self exists, our soul. And it's from here we open our mind and our heart and our being to be receptive to what this time is all about that we've come together this morning. To hear information that sparks a new awakening within us to know who we are as divine beings. To listen to music and align ourselves with its vibrational frequency of good propagating good. And to let go of anything that takes place in the outer world that may cause us discord or discomfort. And to just simply allow ourselves to be the presence and the power of that infinite life that is doing its thing through us, as us. We just simply say thank you for the opportunity to be. And we let it be. As we say together, amen, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Applause. Usually I'm instructing you to applause from afar for others, but why not applause for me, right? Yeah. It's not about me, it's the divine. I think we should always applaud the divine. The divine. Well, we're very blessed this morning to have the divine expressed itself as Eric Lynn with us, to share his talent and his beauty and his light. So, Eric, you're up with Yaron Spiewak. Please welcome Eric, Yaron, and the divine.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. But the Bible says, yes it does, and it still is new. Mama may have, and your Papa may have, but God blesses the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, the strong get more while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets are never, no, seem to make the grain. I say, Mama may have, and your Papa may have, but God blesses the child that's got his own. Well, that's got his own. Sing money, you've got lots of friends, they always crowd around the door. And when the money's gone and the spending is, they just don't come around anymore, no. Rich relations give, crust the bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't you take too much. No. Mama may have, and your Papa may have, and well, God blesses the child that's got his own, that's got his own. That's got his own. Yeah. Oh, Mama may have, and your Papa may have, and well, God blesses the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Thank you.
Eric Lynn and Yaron Spivak. The mellow sounds of Eric Lynn. Fantastic. How's everybody doing today? We're all kind of mellow, and that's a good thing, right? I enjoy being mellow every now and then. It happens about 3 times a month. So, August 20, Sandy always says, we're talking about my childhood, and she always goes, that's before they invented Xanax or whatever, right? So this month, the month of August, the year 2018 is coming to a close. Has it been a good month for all of you? Yes. Good. Well, we began the first Sunday here in August, and I declared for us our theme was fulfilling our life's desires. How many of you have had some of your life's desires fulfilled already? Where's Sherry Bazanis? She would normally scream out loud. There she is. So Sherry, I'm sure your life's desires are coming true. So happy to know that. So I want to remind you all what we're looking at in the context of desires this morning as I wrap this up for us for this month before we move into September's theme, which you're going to hear later. We might get a drum roll for that. But here it is on desire. Desire as a noun is this: a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. And I'm sure we all live in that context every now and then of wanting or wishing or hoping for something to happen in our life, right? And yet as we become more and more in tune with the nature of this teaching, we understand that we have the capacity to move beyond wanting and wishing and hoping and becoming conscious participants in the manifestation of that by aligning ourselves with our divinity. Also, looking at desire as a verb, it is this: It is moving beyond that, but to strongly wanting to wish for, but also to crave and move into, you've heard me say this every Sunday, my favorite definition of the verb, hankering after something. So have you guys become clearer on what you're hankering after in life? Hopefully so, because I want you to keep on a hankering as we move into September. Then we look at the metaphysical definition of desire, which transcends that which is the traditional definition, according to Merriam and Webster, and it's this: half-hearted wishing must not be confused with desire. Our wishing is always capricious. We long for one thing today and tomorrow, and our attention is then directed elsewhere. That's for those of us who are not on the Xanax, right? It's like happy thoughts, right? Desire is that something which impels us to reach out and take our own. Now, when he speaks of taking our own, he's not necessarily meaning that we're reaching out to take our own. That's to give us a visual to saying that desire that exists within us is that we go deeper and claim that which already is our own, the divine qualities that we talk about, and then we bring them up and express them through ourselves. He goes on to write, this action, this activity, this reality of what desire is the divine urge, which operating as law produces energy. And energy must find an outlet. That is why suppressed desire often produces discord or discomfort or dis-ease, and as I said the first week, any other fill in the blank. And none of us really want to live in a life, right? We want to live a life that's contrary to dis. You know, now in modern terminology, when someone says the word dis, do you know what that means? They're slamming you, right? So the slang term dis means that they're speaking ill of you. But let's remember that speaking ill has the second word in it, ill, which is the equivalent to dis-ease. So when you're living in the dis, you are slanging yourself, if you will, in a way of not living in alignment with the contrary to that which is your divinity. Got it? All right, so let's keep going. So for week one, what we looked at and then was the nature of desire. If we're going to look at the fulfillment of life's desires, what is the nature of desire? We started off with a quote from the Upanishads, which is this: you are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. So what we're looking at now is we're moving into understanding the nature of desire is transcendent upon just our thought of it. It's transcendent of just our wanting to have desires and realizing that desire is something that is the divine urge. It is within us. We are imbued with it. It is inherent. It is our innate nature longing to be expressed through us. So in other words, if we're suppressing our own divinity, that's where we get the dis-life. But to live the opposite life is to set that divinity free. So what we need to do is understand that what we're looking to do in life is to live from a place of the fulfillment of our desires, but the only way that that can happen is by going deep within us where that divine urge exists and tapping it and bringing it out. Well, how do we do that? Well, week 2, we moved into how to do that by understanding, according to Deepak Chopra, to then consciously move into what he calls the matrix of manifestation. And he said there are 3 elements to the matrix of manifestation. The first is to go to the infinite reservoir of potentiality and infinite awareness. Now remember, we just decided earlier that desire has its own energy, right? Now hear these words and feel the energy behind these words. Go to the infinite reservoir of potentiality and infinite awareness. Now, he didn't say become aware of those 2 things. He said go to the infinite reservoir of potentiality and infinite awareness. Well, he says the best way to do that is in meditation. Of course, we know we can do it and not to be meditating because we just did it. You can feel the shift in the room, right? And we can even go deeper because let's do it again. Go to the infinite reservoir of potentiality and infinite awareness. Which then takes us to step 2, which is then to focus your attention on one point. Well, that one point is that you and 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 we are that reservoir of potentiality and infinite awareness. That's the one point to focus on. We are it. And then the third piece of the matrix of manifestation is to then live in both of those states of mind, which is really one state of mind, with a flexible consciousness. In other words, what that means is that we allow ourselves to be open to this manifestation as it takes place in our life without any attachment as to what that looks like. And yet that seems so contrary to everything that we're taught in this teaching, right? Because what we're taught in this teaching is get clear on what it is that you want, place it upon the law of life, and expect it to return. And this is saying, well, don't do just that. Do that, but then release your expectation. Well, that seems kind of funky, right? Well, why is it important to do that? We're going to move into that today because what's important for us in having that flexible consciousness is to then develop the consciousness of not what we're wanting to experience is the result, but trust that the result that we're experiencing is a reflection of our aligning with the infinite potentiality and the awareness that exists of the only thing that exists, which is God. And as we tap into our being that divine being, expressing that divine being, living that divine being, knowing there's nothing other than that divine being, then everything that shows up through the matrix of manifestation is a reflection of that, and nothing that has the dis in front of it. He then goes on to write, it's important for us to look at a flexible consciousness as written in the Tao. Nothing is softer or more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. Now hear that again. Nothing is softer and more flexible than water. I see Rachel, right? You're vibing to this, right, Rachel? Nothing is softer or more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. The power of water. He goes on to write, to be receptive to what the universe brings us, we need to have an open, fluid, and infinitely adaptable awareness. This flexibility of awareness is the third component of the art of desiring. Having fluid awareness means that attention does not get stuck on preconceptions about how the desire is supposed to manifest. Being receptive and remaining receptive and free, awareness can move and adapt to whatever the intention needs in development. And I went on to talk about that week, one of the greatest ways to live with a flexible consciousness is by living in grace. The amazing grace of the divine. Well, what is grace? Well, grace, in its modern day incarnation, meaning not that old school religious stuff, is the alignment of your receptivity to the oneness of the divinity always playing out in life, and yet you open your mind to meeting that in receptivity of the oneness of the divine always playing it out, as if every single thing that shows up is a miracle. Everything shows up as a miracle. But it's not a miracle. Meaning that it's not necessarily unexplainable, because it's explainable because it is the matrix of manifestation doing its thing through you. It's because you've aligned your mind with the infinite awareness, the infinite potentiality, and opening yourself up to being open to that which shows up through you as the divine. That's what's taking place. That's what's taking place. Are we good so far? Good. So then we move to week 3, and the rabbi was here. Right? She brought her A game. I don't know about you guys, but I think she brought her A game. She was educational, she was informative, she was funny, and she did some Jewish preaching. I thought she was pretty good, so we'll leave it at that. But what I thought one of the things that was amazing that she did was that she schooled us, for lack of a better term, on understanding the life of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and what she really gave us in a nutshell, which tied in completely to what I've been talking about the fulfillment of your desires, and that it's not enough for us to just want the fulfillment of our own desires. We want to want the fulfillment of every other human being's, every other sentient being's desires as well. And the way for that to happen, as we now know, there's only one thing taking place. Grace is always unfolding. She says, then the next step is to live from the soul. She told us that the life of Aretha Franklin as the Queen of Soul was not about the music she was singing. It was about her living from her soul. And that as she gave her gift to the universe, that she gave us permission to do the same. And so the best way to honor that was to live from our soul to her soul to your soul, soul to soul to soul to soulful living. In other words, living from a place of namaste and then taking that beyond just a cerebral action, from just a spiritual action. She said, then in the 21st century, our responsibility is to then take that to a socially, politically engaged action. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard that somewhere else in this room. I don't know who may have said it, but they could be wearing a white shirt and jeans today. But anyway, so let's look at what the soul is. Well, the soul in metaphysical terms is the creative medium of spirit. It's the subjective side of life. It's the mirroring action of mind. It's where every single thing happens once it leaves our conscious mind. It is in a deep, deep, deep place. And the only way to access that deep, deep, deep place is to go there. It's to go there. It's to go to that place where he told us the divine urge is wanting to be mined, if you will, and brought forth. So that brings us then to the fourth week in fulfilling life's desires, which has been our theme this month. And I'm going to move into that fourth piece right now. And it's about achieving the fulfillment of life's desires. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to begin with a quote from George Bernard Shaw, which says, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Now think about that for a second. Life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. Now I'm going to take license with that for a second. You're not really creating yourself, but what you're doing is tapping into that place that is creative within you. And then you, because you're a being that has the ability to be contemplative, decide for yourself how you want to express the uniqueness that is you as the oneness of all that is. With me? Good, because I don't know if I can say that again like I did. But I can bring it up again maybe. It's about expressing what Ernest Holmes says is the stamp of individuality that's been placed upon you. It's about bringing that out, and you get to choose how you're going to do that in its most fulfilled way. Napoleon Hill says that the starting point of all achievement in life is desire. The starting point of all, fill in the blank, let's say fulfillment, accomplishment, achievement, expression, is desire. So I invite you in this moment, if you were here the first week through this monthly theme, to go back to that thing or things that you decided that you wanted to experience as desire in your life, or tap into something right now and become clear on what it is that you desire to express more of in your life. And just bring it up. If you were in the meditation this morning, I took you to that place, so it should be right there to come up. And we colored it with an energy for it. We felt the energy. We saw it move from concept, from potentiality into desire, from desire into creation, from creation into manifestation, from manifestation into fulfillment. That is the objective of the process that we're looking at. And what I want you to begin to realize is that desire that is within you is not something that you're looking to attain. It is something that you're looking to reveal, because the desire that exists within you is your true self, your divine urge waiting to be called up. Your true self is not only just the beginning of desire itself, but it's also the end and the fulfillment. Because desire is just simply one word that we're using to frame that power that exists within each and every one of us that is the same power. You, the desire, the end result, and oneness is all the same thing. And I want you to begin to look at that concept in a new way today, looking at it as the infinite potential, energy, and intelligence of unbounded consciousness is the real energy of not only the desire itself, but the attraction that brings it forth into fulfillment in your life. Today, it's my goal that we will discover that we don't need to do anything or go anywhere to access the energy of attraction that is required to bring our desires into fulfillment because it's already there within us. The attraction itself exists equally within you just as the desire is, and we're going to call it your true self. Today, it's my goal to awaken within you this energy of attraction, and harness its power to bring your desires to fulfillment. And this activation of desires at its source sets the direction for your thoughts and actions to leads towards its manifestation. So feel the desire that you want to have fulfilled in your life in the moment. Just feel it. You can even bring it forth in your mind's eye through a word or a symbol. And then begin to feel the energy that's around that desire. And then let that energy also be defined as the energy of attraction. And know that the energy of attraction comes from your authentic self, that part of you that longs for more than just possessions or temporary pleasures. So the question is, how can you tell whether what you really, really want or what you're craving or hankering for in life is flowing from your true self or from your human mind? Well, you know it when you've hit your sweet spot, if you will, when your desires are more about being who you are in the world than doing something in the world. So I'm going to reframe that for you. So tap back into that desire that you're longing or hankering for to have expressed out into fulfillment in the world, and ask yourself, is it about doing something? Is it about accomplishing something? Or is it about being something? When you allow your soul, your inner purpose to be your guide, that being that which you are, that quote from the Bible isn't I do, that I do, that I do, that I do. It is I am, that I am, that I am, that I am. You guys get the difference? It's not about doing, it's about being. And as we align ourselves with that which we are, the doing can become a whole lot more fun. Because we realize all we really need to do in life is consciously participate in being that which we already are. And what we already are is the infinite potential, the infinite awareness, the oneness of life itself, where these 8 qualities, I'm going to just do them one time today: peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. I won't say them again. But that's what we're here to do, is to allow our soul to be our guide, to put our life on a new trajectory, and do what Gary Zukav tells us to do when he says this. When I say do it, meaning doing it so that we're expressing it by being it. When our personality comes to serve the energy of the soul, that is authentic power. And in so doing, we get to experience the fulfillment of our authentic desires. Well, what does this really mean? What this means is that we are here in life to do what our soul brought us here to do. Not necessarily just what our talents brought us here to do, not what our desires as far as human want us to do, but to live out who we are as individualized expressions of the divine, to fulfill our soul energy. And it all comes down to this: by tapping into our desires from a soulful perspective in life, and use the energy of attraction from that perspective, then life becomes easier. Of using the law of attraction that exists within us that is equal to the desire itself will then put us on a trajectory that is that fulfillment. Deepak Chopra tells us that the energy of attraction is part of who you are. But which part? He goes on to write, the answer lies deep within your awareness where your true self lies. Your true self is more powerful than any aspect of who you are because it links a desire with the ability to manifest that desire. We've all experienced the difference between a shallow and a deep desire. Wanting to catch the latest hit movie isn't the same as wanting to be a good person, right? You would agree with that? Wanting a better car isn't the same as wanting to live being happy. The secret of the true self is that the deeper your desire, the easier it is to manifest. Now that's a big statement. Do you guys agree with that? That the secret of the true self, he writes, is that the deeper your desire, the easier it is to manifest. Why is that the case? Because what's being called forth to be manifest through you at that deep level already exists. It already exists. You're not trying to force the law, to manipulate the law to create something out there that you want in form, which is a car or a house or more cash or fill in the blank. Not that any of those things are wrong, but if you desire to experience them as a reflection of a declaration and owning that your role in life is to live a more prosperous, abundant life in alignment with the prosperity and the abundance of the universe itself, and in so doing, you're expressing your innate nature as a divine being, then it takes a different turn. Got it? So the key is the dream and the desire begins in the same place where the dream and the desire comes true, which is deep, deep, deep within you. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that the energy of attraction, in so many words, organizes the whole path from desire to fulfillment. And this is the quote that addresses that. Curving back onto my own nature, I create again and again and again. What we're being told there is that the only way to tap into that co-creativeness in alignment with our divinity is to do it by curving back on ourselves. In other words, to live in that place of creation where we understand that there, as we did in the meditation this morning, there is desire. First off, there is the possibility. Then there's the desire. Then there's the creation. Then there's the manifestation. Then there's the fulfillment. That's our observation and experience of that. And look at that, as we've talked about in other terms before, is that indeed working for us? And if not, then we go back to, well, what is possible for me? What is possible for me is a desire that is more reflective of my divinity, so I go deeper to that desire. And as I release that, I open that up to the creative process of it itself, which is then manifested. And then I get to experience the fulfillment of that and take a look again by feeling its energy. Is this reflective of peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love? Wisdom, my light. I said it 2 times now, right? And in so doing, if it is, celebrate that and then go deeper. And if it's not, then go deeper. Back into, well, what is possible for me as a PPP, got it? Aspect of life. And that's possible, we know, because the desire to experience and express it is already there by means of being the divine that was established early on. I get to experience and express it by tapping into its awareness that exists as it, as me, and tap into the infinite potentiality, meaning there's no barrier to what can be created through that potential. It's infinite possibility. And as I do that, then I open myself up for it to move from desire to creation, from creation into manifestation. From manifestation, I embrace it as fulfillment and then feel the energy of that which it is. And ask myself, is this in alignment with the divinity that is me, as you? And the cycle continues and continues and continues. It's important for us to know that desire is a primal creative energy within us, and that is a feeling force of life itself. And if you feel uninspired by knowing that that's true for you, if you feel like you can't do that process that I just shared with you, stop and just simply be grateful for the opportunity of the awareness that you're alive. And then be grateful for the opportunity of the awareness that desires exist within you. And then stop and be grateful for the awareness of the possibility that those desires can be created through you. And then stop and be grateful for the possibility that the possibility of the desire can be created through you and then be manifested. and then stop and be grateful for the opportunity that the possibility exists, that the possibility of desire can be created into form, ultimately be manifested through you, and then created as fulfillment so that you get to embrace it and see and feel and know the outer expression of that which you are, and then be grateful that it all exists. The law of attraction is said, gratitude. It's imperative that you show gratitude for what you have in this very moment to be able to receive and reveal more. The law of attraction, gratitude. It's imperative to show gratitude for what you have in this very moment in order to be, remember we're here, to be able to reveal, express, and receive more. And then I invite you as we move forward to know that you're an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. In other words, you are the opening by which the divine is expressing itself, giving you the opportunity to tap into your desires and allowing them to be revealed through you as fulfillment. You don't have to go out and get anything, but you're called at a very high level to consciously go deep and be something else more and more and more. And then to know, as Albert Einstein tells us, that every single thing that's taking place in life is energy. That it's all energy. And that our role in life is to match the frequency of the reality that we want in life. And in so doing, we cannot help but get it. It can't be any other way. It can't be any other way. That's not philosophy, he says. It's physics. It's physics. Which moves me to two things. One is to close by telling you that the key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into your awareness. You can only tap into those higher consciousnesses of awareness by going deeper and deeper and deeper into your soul, and then becoming aware of that frequency of the energy that you desire to express and emit and experience, which moves us to September, and our theme is change your vibration, change your life. Change your vibration, change your life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I welcome back our gentlemen, Eric and Yarom.
Feel free to sing along. I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. am not mistakes that I have made or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am divinity divine. I am a God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Eric Lynn. Eric Lynn, beautiful. Eric, are you LA based?
Yes.
Do you perform anywhere here in town?
I do.
Okay, and how can we find out that information?
Well, I'll be performing at the September 3rd.
At the W, September 3rd? Any particular place in the W, or are you landing on the rooftop, very Beyonce-like, or?
It's called the living room.
Say what?
The living room.
The living room at the W.
Yeah, I'm going to sing a Aretha Franklin song.
Oh, good. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. And you can find your own Spiewak on Friday nights and,
Tramp Stamp Granny.
well, I was going to say it, but what
Oh.
nights? I want to, Friday nights and what else?
8 to 11.
Fridays 8 to 11 at Tramp Stamp Granny's. So, and if you want to know what that means, you can go online and look at it. I read all about it Friday night. So I think it's a great concept. You don't get any, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. It's open to all people, we'll put it that way. All right, so if I can have the ushers come forward, please. This is your opportunity for conscious giving today. Many of you have, there's a little handout on the chairs there. They're look like this. And you can complete in it what you're grateful for if you'd like. Your methodology of giving of your financial good here and sharing your financial good with us here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, which is deeply appreciated, is as follows. You can do cash or check or credit card. If you'd like to use credit card, you can see Reverend Lenore is going to be out at the greeting table in the back. She can do that for you probably right now if you're going out there. And or if you're... or either Jesus can do that, or you can do it online. And your options for online, and you can go to our website, which is CSL-LA.org, click on Home, and click on Donate. Actually, you can just click on Donate now. We fixed that, so you don't have to click on Home first to do that. Or go to the app in the App Store, which is the CSL-LA app, and use that. So I invite you to take that, what you're giving today, and place up close to your heart. We do that because the heart is the symbol for love, and love is the self-givingness of spirit whose desires to create more of itself out of itself. So as we give today, we're activating spirit multiplying itself. Take a moment. I invite you to close your eyes and see that what you're giving as propagating good and multiplying around the world. And repeat after me, please. I choose to give. So I give, easily, and joyfully, with every fiber of my being. I know God is my source, and abundance is my nature. So I trust that which I give propagates good in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you.
There's the gift to be simple, there's the gift to be free, there's the gift to come down to where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we will be in the valley of love and
October
the
21st,
light.
right? That's the day for King Tut.
When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shouldn't be ashamed. To turn, well, be our delight, till by turning, we come round right.
Thank you, Joron and Eric, and thank you. Having learned this morning the importance of gratitude, I'd like to express gratitude on behalf of the CSL-LA Board of Trustees and all leaders here to say, to say thank you to all of you for being here today, both in person and online. A big thank you to our illuminator today, Sarah Nurmi. Thank you, Sarah. If you notice, Sarah has had her iPhone on a tripod. We are starting today. Did we go live today? So starting today, you will see cameras here in the room like that. They won't be on you all. We know that that's some things some of you don't care for, but it will be coming from around on the side. We will be going live on Facebook and on Instagram through our service at times, so know that. At times there'll be a tripod handheld doing that. What we have found, or I'll speak for myself, but the board has approved this, is that when we go live on Facebook and Instagram, we average anywhere between about 5 and 30 people coming online and watching either the music or the messages or the prayers that normally don't watch through the other online systems. So we feel like that's a great vehicle for us to expose ourselves in a new way, and we appreciate that you support that. Okay? Sarah has shown up to do that today, and we appreciate her for that. As well as we're going to shoot a new promo video for social media for us. It's been, I was advised that it's time for me to do that with my newer body. I'll just put it that way. So I said yes to that. And Sheila thinks that's funny. So I'm open to that. But I'd also like for many of you to be a part of that as well. And so that may or may not take place today. Not today. But we'll let you know when. And if any of you will be open to being interviewed. We really want to do a big outreach social media-wise here. And we just feel like that's the thing to do. So I'm going to let you go with that. All right. A big thank you to our practitioner today. To our musicians, Yaron Spiewak and Eric Lynn, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. A big thank you to Jesus and Bob for setting up and doing the work that they do. Our board member today is Dr. Sheila Hughes. Sheila, shake your hand. Dr. Sheila will be out back if you have any constructive things that you'd like to share with her or any ahas of greatness that you would like to share with her. She'll definitely appreciate that. Some announcements to be aware of is that our weekly e-newsletter goes out every Tuesday, which shows you everything that's going on here. If you're receiving that, fantastic. If you're receiving it, please read it. And if you're not receiving it and not reading it and you'd like to do so, you can complete this form right here at the welcome table and we will put you on the list. Also, for offering, I forgot to say this earlier, but if you're giving cash and you would like to have your donations recorded, please make sure to use one of these envelopes so that we can give you that at the end of the tax year. Wednesday morning, the online guided meditation continues. That information is both on our website and in our weekly e-newsletter. It's from 8 to 8:30 a.m. It's a great way to have a jump start to your week and to get anchored into going to that deep place I talked about today. Friday mornings, the Spirit of Dance class is continuing. We have one of our choreographers in the room right now, Charlene Painter. Charlene, wave. I encourage you to take the time on Friday to come do that. It goes from 11:30 to about 12:45. It's $15. You're learning from experts, as Charlene and Walter Painter. We have a lot of fun. Friday we had a lot of fun. And it gives you an opportunity to not only commune with each other, but as I say every Sunday, to identify your groove thing and shake it a little bit. So it's good to do that. And we were shaking it on Friday. This Thursday, we will have our Noble group, which Reverend Lenore leads. It's anyone that's 55 or older. Come in. It's a great time to hang out together, play some games, talk about stuff. She says bring a sack lunch or however you want to pack your lunch if you'd like to do that. That takes place here Thursday. This Thursday is the last Thursday of every month from 10:30 to 12. All right. 2 upcoming events to be aware of. We've now wrapped up the date or identified the date for the next 8-week class that I'm teaching. It's called The Gifts of Abundant Living. It's going to really give us a template on how to live life from a more abundant perspective. There's going to be a broad range of curriculum with that. You'll get that information later. It's going to be on Thursday nights starting on September 20th. I know we normally have met on Wednesdays, but because of the high holy days and things taking place, if we wanted to start on Wednesdays, it can't happen until mid to late October, and I don't want to wait that long. So Thursday, September 20th is when it begins. Also, you'll start seeing handouts and announcements on our e-newsletter about our Journey to the King Tut exhibit, which takes place on October 21st. It's $24 per person. I'll give you the overview right now. We're going to leave here on that day, carpool to the Jefferson La Cienega train station, take the train down to the Natural History Museum. Once we get there, we're going to sit on the lawn, have lunch together. You're responsible for what you want to eat that day and drink. And then from there, we'll go in and experience the exhibit together, and then come out of that, get on the train together, come back to the train station, and then set you free. All right? I think that's it. Any questions or comments, see Dr. Sheila. She'll be happy to take that information. So let's close. So I invite you to close your eyes if that feels good. If not, just appreciate watching me pray. All right. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and release it. Do so again, going deeper. And one more time, please. We just did that to give ourselves the practice of going to that deeper, deeper, deeper place where the urge of the divine is calling forth, saying, use me, express me, do your part in manifesting me at a high, high, high vibrational frequency. And to know that your desires are worthy of fulfillment. You are worthy of all the good that exists in the universe. For you are that which I am. And so today is the day that we covenant together to live a more abundant life that is expressed in ways that makes a difference in the world. It's a reflection of our doing our own work, of aligning ourselves with the allness and the infiniteness of potentiality, and using the wisdom and the awareness that exists within us as the divine. And so today is the day that we be more of that which we are, letting go of the need to do, and just simply be the power, the presence, the infiniteness, the perfection, and the wholeness of the only thing that exists, God. And we let it be as we enjoy each other outside, having refreshments and coffee and water and community. It is indeed all good, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. Have a great day and a great week.